Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. In the local scene, the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Albay is advancing a proposed ordinance that will formally institutionalize the annual celebration of Women's Month every March. Lawmakers are intensifying deliberations to ensure the measure includes dedicated funding for sustained and expanded gender-focused programs. During a committee hearing, Gender and Development Focal Point System Technical Working Group Chairperson Dr. Rowena L. Ondiz said the ordinance mandates annual activities aligned with national policies and international commitments on gender equality. The proposal authorizes regular funding to guarantee continuity, program growth, and measurable impact across sectors. Committee on Women, Children and Family and Gender and Development Chairperson Board Member Wilfredo V. Maronilla said institutionalizing the celebration embeds gender-responsive planning into the provincial government's yearly operations. Once approved, the ordinance is expected to strengthen accountability and reinforce Albay's long-term commitment to advancing women's rights and exclusive development. In other story, the Philippine National Police Highway Patrol Group has launched an executive motorcycle riding course in Legazpi City to improve road safety across Albay. The training opened at the old Legazpi Airport in Barangay Cruzada with Highway Patrol Group Director Hansel Marantan leading the ceremony and 58 riders from across the province taking part. The course focuses on sharpening riding skills, boosting rider confidence, and reinforcing safety awareness on the road. The provincial government of Albay is supporting the initiative with 2nd District Board Member Attorney Melissa A. Abadesa Armedilla joining the activity to promote responsible motorcycle use. Authorities said the program highlights a unified effort between government and law enforcement to reduce accidents and encourage safer riding practices throughout the province. In other news, tourism stakeholders from Albay joined a regional travel exchange in Iloilo City to expand partnerships and attract more visitors to the province. Around 20 delegates from Bicol participated in the Travex 2026 from February 16 to 20, engaging in activities supported by the Department of Tourism Region 6 and Cebu Pacific. The week-long event featured guided tours and business-to-business meetings that allowed participants to promote Albay's ski destinations and tourism services to counterparts from Western Visayas. Tourism officials said the collaboration is expected to increase visitor traffic and open new market opportunities for local tourism enterprises. An inbound exchange is set in April when stakeholders from Western Visayas will visit Bicol to experience Albay's attraction and further strengthen regional tourism cooperation. In the national scene, the Armed Forces of the Philippines has been on red alert since February 21 ahead of the 40th anniversary of the EDSA People Power Revolution with no serious threats reported so far. AFP spokesperson Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla said the military is ready to support the Philippine National Police, which is responsible for maintaining order during public gatherings. She added that the AFP will provide assistance if requested following established procedures and interagency coordination. This year, some progressive groups have combined the anniversary celebration with an anti-corruption and anti-political dynasty rally called the Trillion Peso March movement, with expected participation of more than 30,000 people. Police have deployed over 13,000 personnel across Metro Manila to ensure safety and manage crowds, while the military emphasized that its role is to provide security, not participate in political matters. In other story, The Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE, reminded workers that the no work, no pay rule applies on February 25, the 40th anniversary of the EDSA People Power Revolution. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has declared February 25 as a special working day, meaning employees must report to work to receive pay. Workers who report to work will receive 100% of their regular wage for the first 8 hours. Employees working beyond 8 hours will be paid an additional 25% of their hourly rate for overtime. Lawmakers have filed House Bill 7911 to declare February 25 a regular holiday, aiming to properly honor the EDSA People Power Revolution. Several activist groups and other organizations will hold protests against corruption as part of the 40th anniversary commemoration. In other news, the House of Representatives Tourism Committee approved a bill to abolish the travel tax and sent it to the Ways and Means panel to explore alternative funding sources. The substitute bill combines 18 proposals, including the measure filed by Majority Leader Ferdinand Alexander Marcos, and was approved in principle during Monday's committee hearing. Officials from the Commission on Higher Education, or CHED, and the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, or NCCA, warned that repealing the tax without a replacement fund could cut critical programs. CHED Commissioner Dr. Shirley Agrupis said 40% of the travel tax supports the Higher Education Development Fund, which benefits 5.4 million students through scholarship, researches, and institutional programs. Tourism Infrastructure and Enterprise Zone Authority head Mark Lapid added that the tax also funds tourism development, cultural programs, and efforts to attract private investment in tourism zones. House leaders includes Representatives Eleandro Jesus Madrona, Micaela Swansing, and Miro Kimbo promised to find alternative funding, while Marcos said abolishing the tax would ease cost for Filipino travelers and encourage tourism. And in the news outside the country, nearly 20 countries condemned Israel on Monday for actions in the West Bank, calling them attempts to take over land and weaken Palestinian statehood. Israel has recently approved plans led by far-right ministers to register West Bank land as state property and allow Israelis to buy it. The country said these steps aim to change the situation on the ground and amount to an unexpected form of annexation. The statement, signed by Saudi Arabia, Egypt, France, Spain, Indonesia, Brazil, Turkey, and endorsed by the League of Arab States, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and the Palestinian Authority, warned the moves threaten the two-state solution. More than 3 million Palestinians and over 500,000 Israeli settlers live in the West Bank, where Israel fast-tracked expansion by approving a record 52 settlements in 2025, despite the land being occupied since 1967. In other story, South Korea's former President Yoon Suk-yeol has appealed his life sentence for rebellion after briefly imposing martial law in December 2024. Yoon, a conservative leader facing multiple criminal trials, called his conviction unfair and said his actions were for the sake of the nation, accusing the judge of bias. His lawyer said the appeal will challenge mistakes in fact-finding and legal interpretation, and the case will now go to a special panel at the Seoul High Court for serious crimes like rebellion and treason. Yoon's martial law lasted about 6 hours before lawmakers forced it to be lifted, and his decree caused the country's biggest political crisis in decades, affecting diplomacy and financial markets. The court ruled Yoon's actions were an illegal attempt to seize power, while a special prosecutor has sought the death penalty, though South Korea has not carried out execution since 1997. And finally, in the news outside the country, with reference to the Philippines. International Criminal Court senior trial lawyer Julian Nichols identified 5 individuals allegedly involved in the killings during former President Rodrigo Duterte's tenure as mayor of Davao City. Nichols stated that death squads comprised of police officers and civilians were allegedly used during Duterte's mayoral period and sometimes referred to as the Davao model. He noted that the former president did not act alone and that the named individuals allegedly participated in the activities being investigated. The individuals identified include former police chiefs Bato de la Rosa and Vicente Danao, former Duterte aide Christopher Go, NBI Regional Director Dante Guiaran, and lawyer Vitaliano Aguirre II, along with members of the Davao Death Squad. Duterte faces 3 counts of crime against humanity related to his administration anti-drug campaign, and the ICC will determine whether there is sufficient evidence to proceed to a full trial. That's a news at 12, February 25, 2026. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to our news writer LJ Lorejo and Naomi Ruth Hernandez. And on the technical side, Chad Bobis, our Provincial Information Officer OIC Marte Gonzalez, under the supervision of our Governor Noel E. Rosal. I am Mike Alvarez. Thank you for subscribing. Puta na din